I'd like to say that this is a one-take kind of thing, but this is the fourth time I'm doing this video because I wrote it in a couple of different ways, but none of them really felt like me, if that makes sense. But this first episode in this series is about where I'm coming from. Essentially, I've broken this up into a series of 5 videos, retrospective, as to how I got to where I am now. My name is David. I'm an entrepreneur in the additive manufacturing space. And at this point, the company is 8 years old, employed. We currently have employed 12 full-timers. We have our own building, over 200 machines, and we've built up Inventory into one of the larger, more successful print farms in the world at this point. My goal here is to give a bit of a retrospective look as to how we got here, the mistakes we made along the way, and initially, I want to go over the mistakes, the problems we faced in the beginning. Later on, I'll go into how we fixed them, how we grew out of them, and how everything stands now. I would say that most people see a business at one point in time and assume it was always heading there. People assume that everyone in business started off with it figured out. And in reality, most businesses feel uncertain for most of the time, even when from the outside they look established and well-formed. That's what this channel is about. It's giving some context. It's not a highlight reel. It's not a backstory for sympathy, but there's just enough to explain where I'm coming from and why I think about building the way I build. And I'm at this stage in life where my decisions don't end at work. I have a family, I have kids. Risk isn't an abstract thing. I am hyper aware now of risks I take. And when something goes wrong, it doesn't stay in a spreadsheet or on a sofa. It sort of follows you around, decisions linger, and other people depend on it. And that sense of responsibility didn't appear when I started Inventory D. It started earlier than that. I was introduced to engineering when I was 10 years old. My grandfather was the kind of guy who could fix anything. It could be buildings, plumbing, electrical work, tiles, cars. So essentially, if it was broken, he'd figure out a way to fix it. And more importantly to me, because I was basically his intern, he took the time to explain why it worked how it did and how he fixed it. Those were my summers as a child. Long days, practical work, learning by doing, no shortcuts, things were done properly, or we had to restart them. And what stayed with me after all those years isn't just the skills, it was the attitude, the idea that hard work isn't something to avoid, it's something to respect, something that over time actually becomes satisfying and fulfilling. And to this day, I have this masochistic passion for manual labor. My grandfather had a heart of gold. He was always supportive, never pushing, but he was always present. As I opened my first company, then my second, then my third, he was always there in the background, always asking how things were going. He was always interested in how we were progressing. He didn't need all the details. He just wanted to know that we were building something real and meaningful. And so in a lot of ways, he's the reason I was never really afraid to scale. He inspired me not just to build, but to build properly and to think big. And that curiosity was reinforced at home too. My parents were always supportive, even when I didn't make it easy. I was a terrible student. And on paper, it didn't really look like I was someone who was heading anywhere in particular, anything academic or even structured. But they always nurtured that curiosity. So they took us to museums, encouraged questions, they put engineering in front of me, and they supported exploration before they saw any results. And looking back, I think that mattered more than the grades ever did. I used to spend all of my evenings just scribbling into my desk about how much I hate studying. So yes, that's a bit about me and how I grew up. Business didn't really come straight away to me. I didn't grow up wanting to be an entrepreneur. I wasn't chasing freedom or flexibility. I was interested in understanding how things work, period, and how to make them better. Business comes into that almost by accident. Once you start building things in the real world, you realize that ideas are the easy part. Making them work with people, money, time, and constraints is where things get complicated and interesting. And that's probably why the idea of success as a destination didn't really interest me as such. Because to me, I always had to enjoy the process of creation, of ideation, of building. Having that goal at the end of the tunnel is always nice to have. It's always a nice thing to work towards. But if I didn't enjoy that part, it would be very difficult to stay engaged. My attention span never really kept me engaged. Even if I knew there was a finish line coming up, if I didn't see it, forget it. I'm not engaged in it. So this channel isn't really about teaching or giving advice. It's me building in public, talking about how things actually feel while they're being built, not once they're all neatly packaged in a box and on social media. Some of what I share here will be unfinished. Some of it will only make sense in hindsight, a couple of videos time, and that's kind of the point. This is just the starting point. The rest of the videos will fill in the gaps. The assumptions I made early on, the things that didn't work, the pressure that changed how I operate, and the thinking that stayed once the noise faded. That's where I'm coming.